those points back. So here we go. I'm going to play a puzzle, and I'm going to minimize chat now. And yeah, okay. White to move. This looks like it's, I mean, there's not too many pieces on the board, so it doesn't look like it might be too challenging. There's no immediate threats from black that I can see. Well, maybe there is. The bishop h3 doesn't seem to be too immediate. So if rook f2, there might be at least a perpet there for black. So that is kind of immediate. If I go to g1 or h1 and then check, I might be able to escape that, which would give me a slow move to be able to play. But let's look at that again. So rook f2, king g1. Yeah, and I assume rook f1, king g2. Although after king g2, then there's no, there's no bishop check. But he could perpet though. Wait. Only if it kept going down. So yeah, after rook f2, and then I can't keep going down because he can just go back and forth. So so rook f2, king g3 if I don't want to draw. And then a rook back to f3, and then king h4. Excuse me. And I might squeeze out that way. A rook to h3 check, king g5. If he kept another rook back, then check. I go to h6. So I think I could survive that. I don't know if I would have to end up trading my rook though. I don't think I would, but I'm not 100% sure. It's kind of deep. So yeah, I think I can escape, but let's look back at this. I'm kind of doing this in a weird order. I mean, the thing is, if I can get away with a slow move, then I don't need to do a forcing move. But what I should have done was look at forcing moves first. That's actually what I should have looked at. I think it might have been more optimal. And there's really only one forcing move, which is rook b7. And really, I should have just looked at this first. The order of operations is probably looking at this first. Because it is yeah. And then if I didn't have any forcing moves, then I could look. Well, then I could look if black has any forcing moves and then deal with that. But yeah, I should have looked at my forcing moves first probably. So rook b7, if king a7, I mean, black only has two moves here, but if king a7, then this is mate. Knight c7 is mate. So therefore, king c7 is forced. I should have looked at this first. I mean, why did I not? So then we have a discovery. But I'm going to do it without the arrows just because it's better not to. So rook b7, king c8, knight d6 check. And then that forces king d8. Okay, sorry. Having trouble picturing this simple. Okay, so rook b7, king c8, knight d6, king d8, and rook b8 check. But then his, because that seems to not do much. So after rook b7, rewinding here a little bit. After rook b7 check and then king c8, he can't go to c8, so I wonder if I would want something like rook b6 check. But then he can go to king d7. This is probably not very hard. I'm probably making this way harder than it needs to be. Oh, hang on. We have knight a7. And then knight c6. That looks pretty good. So rook b7, king c8. Knight a7 check, king d8. And then knight c6 check. Yeah, that's mate. Okay. This, I spent 5 minutes on it. Should have taken me 1 minute. But just to show it with the arrows. So rook b7, you can't go to the corner. So king c8, knight a8, king d8, knight c6 check. And king d8, and then, yeah, rook here is mate. So I'm going to play that. Whoops. Yeah, I almost blundered already. But this is actually a very simple puzzle, but I'm just... I did it... Okay, I'm going to open up chat. But yeah, so it took me 6 minutes. This should have taken me 1 to 2 minutes. So first of all, I should have looked at my forcing moves first, regardless of what my opponent can do, just because it's my move, and I should look at the forcing moves. After that, then if I wanted to, I can look if my opponent has a forced mate if I let him. Then I could go back to mine, but I should have looked at my move first. That alone would have saved me 2 to 3 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay. I get 4 more free ones. Okay, I'm going to minimize chat and do another. Okay, an opening one, white to move. Looks like this queen might get caught, might get trapped. We're down a pawn, which we can regain. Looks like, or also we might be able to grab g7. So how does this not win at least the exchange? I guess because black has a check. If black doesn't check us, for whatever reason, I think we're just winning the exchange. I don't think it's more complicated than that. I think that logic holds up, right? If he doesn't check us, we either win the queen or we're going to take on g7. So black has to give us a check, and there's 2 checks. He can go to b4. So let's look at that first. If queen b4, probably c3 is good enough. Because he still cannot save his queen and protect b7. Okay, so that seems to be accounted for. I'm kind of doing this one pretty quick. And if he goes to a5, I think again c3. And I don't see... Oh, wait, but then he... Okay, that one is the better defense for black. Because c3, then he can play something like f6. So bishop d4, queen a5, I would need something better. Than c3. Get c3, f6. Huh. I don't have an answer for that yet. Maybe, no, I was going to say maybe I could play b4, but it is a check. Oh, we could do that and then take on G7. Yeah. So we take on D4, Queen A5, B4. Again, his queen can't protect G7. So, and his queen is under attack. So the best he could do is take on B4. But then, once again, I have C3, which works. So we give up a pawn, but we're going to get G7 in the exchange. I think that's going to be the answer. Bishop D5, Queen A5, B4, Queen takes B4, C3. If he moves the queen back to A5 and I take on G7 and then F3, there is a problem where he can take on C3 after, but I think I can just play knight D2 and that's still a net gain for me. So I'm going to go with that. Yeah, we go B4, we go C3, and I got it. Going to open up chat. Okay, nice. Only 5 points for that, but it is kind of a low-rated puzzle. Yeah, so if I continue here with the engine on now, if it, because I'm curious about the continuation. Sorry, it's his turn. Oh, sorry, it's his turn here. Yeah, so if I take on G7, yeah, so if he made some in-between move, like I was thinking F6, and if I take the rook and check, I was going to go knight D2. Yeah, so knight D2, and we're better overall. I guess you could bring in the king, but yeah, this is better. So I nailed that one. Yay. Okay, I'm going to do the next one, and I'm going to minimize chat. Okay, we have endgame with heavy pieces, black to move. I'm sad that I only get 3 more free puzzles. This looks like a puzzle from Woodpecker, actually. But let's look at the forcing move. So let's look at Queen H1. The only reply is Queen H2. I'm going to do it without arrows. By the way, I think Leach has changed the way the arrows look. Or unless they're just puzzle arrows, but they seem different. Anyways, Queen A8 check, Queen H2. And then I could go Queen F1 check. But then there's like Rook G2. Yeah, then there's Rook G2, and I don't think that's good. Let's just take a look at this one now. Maybe I should continue with the other line, but I want to look at this. Queen G4. Say King H2, King H2. I think that's going nowhere quick. No. Queen H1, I want to look at that. So Queen H1 and Queen H2. Queen H1 check, Queen H2. If I go Rook takes G3 check, King takes G3, and then that's mate. That's the answer. So it's Queen H1. I'll do it again without the arrow. So Queen H1 check, Queen H2, Rook takes G3, King takes G3 is forced, and then Queen F3. Wait. Oh, I almost blundered. But I would win a pawn there. Interesting, but it's not enough, I don't think. Okay, so Queen H1, Queen H2, Rook G3, King G3, and then Queen F3, check. Then he has Queen, because I thought that was mate before, but he has Queen G3. I could then take his Rook, but then there's G2, and I don't know that. Or B7, I mean, there's B7, and that doesn't seem right. But, okay, so maybe that's, so Queen H1, Queen H2. So maybe we don't take on G3 right away. But to keep things going, yeah, we have to go queen f1 check. And if queen g2, keep bouncing between different lines here. No, I was right the first time. Why? I was right the first time. I was right the first time. Queen h1 check, queen h2, rook g3, king g3. His king is on g3, so after queen f3 it's just a mate. I was right the first time. Yeah, my visualization needs work. I was right the first time. Okay, open up chat. Okay, not my finest hour. Another 5 points. Chess.com is drip feeding me the points. Okay, I'm doing these too slow, but at least I'm getting them right. Okay, going to do the next one here. This is the fourth one, penultimate one. White to move. This is a mate in 2, is it not? No, he can squeeze out. But yeah, queen f7. Oh no, it is. It's just a mate in 2. So, oh no, I'm in check. I'm in check. I'm in check. So let's go to the good geometrical location of a3, king a3. This is a weird puzzle that we're in check. Yeah, so king a3. Let's say knight, knight e6. But that's still a mate in 2. Got hiccups here. Queen f7 and then queen h8. Yeah, so after king a3, what can he do? Maybe he can go g5. But it'll still be mate. Then I take on f8. King a3, then queen f7, queen f8. Yeah, so king a3, g5, queen f7. And then, yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah, that's me. So king a3, g5 doesn't work. Knight e6 doesn't work. What else can he do? I don't see what he can do. I'm going to go king a3. I don't see how he stops queen f7. Without giving away his queen. Like queen e7. Oh! Hang on. Wow. Queen e6 I can't take. Well, maybe I can. Okay, so king a3, queen e6. And if rook e6, knight takes e6, check. And I could sack the queen, but he's too many pawns. Wow, interesting. I wonder if there would be a reason to go to king b4. I don't see how that would change things, though. Unless it's ridiculous. No. Oh, yeah, but king a3, queen e6. Oh, I've got queen g6. So queen g6. Yeah, I got queen g6, and then that's mate. So I think king a3 works. I don't see how he defends it. I'm going to play it. Yeah, and then we go queen g6 here. Otherwise, that's a brilliant defense. Okay, I got it. Another measly 5 points, opening up chat. Nobody's here. That's okay. So I only have one more free puzzle for the night. If I get the next one right, I might, I don't know. Let's see. What was my previous best? I might beat it by 1 point if I get the next one right. No, I'll tie it. No. Yeah, I'll just tie it. No. I'll beat it by 1 point, which is hilarious. Okay, but we'll see if I get 5 points for the next one. Okay, I'm going to minimize chat. So we got 4 correct in a row. That one went pretty well. Here we go. Last one. Black to move. We are on the attack again. We only have 2 pieces to really play with. Looks like no good forcing moves. There's a mate and 1 threat we have. Material is equal. So the best I see so far is a mate and 1 threat. Mate and 1 threat. No immediate threats from white. So we should look at the mate and 1. So knight b3 is what I'm looking at. Actually, that's not even a mate and 1 because his knight's protecting d2. So this one might be tricky. And I think we have to go for checkmate here. I don't think we are going for material. I mean, maybe it's possible. We're just trying to get material here because there is a fork. We have a6, b5. Is that what we're going after here? a6, b5. That's not the greatest puzzle if that's what it is here. It might just be a6, b5. Then again, knight e6 threatens our bishop. Actually, there's another threat I have. I could move my knight, and then I'm threatening queen c1. So I could put my knight to one of these squares on b6 or on b3 or d3. I'm liking that idea now. And I'm aiming for I'm prioritizing knight b3 because if his knight moves, it is mate again. So that is a mate threat and a queen c1 threat. So knight b3 is looking decent. But what if he goes king c2? Then I win his bishop. But there's still his knight d6 follow-up. But okay, knight b3, king c2, then I have knight d4 check, and I win his bishop. Plus, well, yeah, then he's got that. But yeah, that's got to be decent. But there's still that knight d6 follow-up. If I win knight d3 and king c2, I can't say the same thing. He might just be fine there. Yeah, so knight b3. Okay, what if he moves his queen, though? Knight b3, queen somewhere. Say h7. Then let's say queen c1 check, king e2. There might be a mate. Well, no. Then I win his bishop again. Then there's a fork, knight e4. Yeah, so if knight b3, if he moves the queen somewhere, then I go queen c1, check, king e2, which is forced, and then I go, yeah, knight e5, or sorry, knight e4 check, he moves the king somewhere, knight takes b6, he still has that knight d6, but maybe I should look at the knight d6, because it is annoying. Okay, so let me do the whole thing. I'll do it with arrows this time. Knight b3, queen somewhere, we don't know where yet. It obviously could matter, so let's put it on g1. Oh, no. He can't go on that. He has to go on the h file, otherwise I win the queen. So knight b3, queen. Okay, let's say queen h3. Then queen c1, king e2, knight e4 check, king f2, knight takes b5, and then if knight d, actually let's put the queen there, because then he's threatening mate. So knight b3, queen h5, and then he's going to threaten mate on f7. Queen c1 check, king e2, knight d4 check, let's say king f2, yeah, and then knight takes b5, and then knight d6. Oh no, he can't go to d6 because my knight is covering d6. So he could maybe play a4, kicking out my knight. But then I think I'm hitting him here, right? Because his knight is on prise. So he would have to move the knight. So after all that, he could go here and threaten mate. He could do that. I could also go back and defend though. So I think that's good for me. It's not super clear. Okay, so I don't think he can move the queen. Knight b3 moves the queen. I think after queen c1 and all of that, I'm winning his bishop, and that's good. I can hold. So if he moves the king to c2, same thing. Check and the same thing. Well, yeah, same thing. Similar. The difference is his knight won't be under attack. So knight b3, king c2, knight d4, king somewhere. I take the bishop and then knight d6. Oh no, but he still can't go knight d6. But if he does something else, like I think I'm fine there. So I don't think he can go king c2. If king e2, well, that's once again a fork. Forks everywhere. And then so the only other thing is, well, I don't see what else he can do there. Maybe knight d2. No, then it's just mate. So I think this is the right move. I'm going to play it. Knight b3. So he plays queen d1. I think I would... So I didn't look at that because I should have looked at it because... And I should have looked at queen f1 as well because his king can actually defend the queen. But yeah, so I should have looked at this line. But yeah, queen c1. I should have looked at this line. King e2. Okay, let me do it without the arrows in silently. Yeah, I should have looked at this line or considered it. Oh, again, I have the fork. It's just the same thing. Yeah, so, except my queen is here, but yeah, queen c1, king e2, and then I trade queens and I take the bishop. So I'm going to go for that. Yeah, and then we give the check. Yeah, and then just trade and then take the bishop. Nice. Another 5 points. Going to open up chat. Okay, nobody's here the whole time, but that's okay. That's 31.22. I think that's the new personal best by a single point. Actually, by 2 points, because my previous best was actually 31.20. So I beat it by 2 points, I believe. Let's just let's confirm. Yeah, so I beat my previous best on chess.com puzzles by a measly 2 points, but yesterday I dipped. I dropped 23 points yesterday, so I gained 25 points today, it looks like. So just a little new personal best by 2 points, but I will take it. Yeah. So I was a little slow on the first one. Well, I was a little slow on all of them. My time is always so much slower than the average time. Way slower. I don't know how accurate these is though. I feel like the average time is skewed. Because I don't know if the average time is people of similar rating to me. It's probably not. It's probably just of the people that get it correct, the average time that they spend. So this is lower than the real average because if it's not factoring in the people that get it wrong, higher rated people are naturally going to be able to do it faster. And there's also people that are guessing it correctly. So I don't think the average time is accurate. I've never felt that. I'm just going to see if it will let me do another free puzzle. But I think I used up my 5 free ones. But I'm happy with the new personal best. I'll take that. And I think I'm actually just going to end it there. Just a short stream today, but nobody's watching, so I don't really feel like continuing. And I set a new personal best. I usually like to stop on a high note. So that's it for me today. 31.22. New personal best on chess.com puzzles. Thanks for watching. See you next time.